Jason has been at the same company for 5 years. He knows the systems better than anyone. He trained 3 people who now outrank him. His manager literally calls him when things break, even on weekends. Last Tuesday, the promotion list dropped in the company-wide email. Jason's name wasn't on it. Brandon's was. Brandon, who Jason spent 2 weeks onboarding last spring. Brandon, who still asks Jason how to run basic reports. Jason sat at his desk, read that email twice, and felt something shift inside him. Not anger. Something worse. The quiet realization that he had been doing everything right and it still wasn't enough. If that story hit close, stay right here. Because what I'm about to show you isn't motivation. It isn't a pep talk. It's the actual hidden mechanism behind how promotions are decided and why the best workers keep getting skipped. There's one thing toward the end of this video that changes how you see every workplace interaction going forward. Don't leave early. You need the full picture. Here's your first clue. The problem was never your performance. The first thing they don't teach you. Performance keeps you employed. It does not move you up. Read that again slowly. Your manager needs you to keep hitting targets. Your consistency protects their quarterly numbers. Your reliability makes their job easier every single week. Now ask yourself, why would they move you? Promoting you creates a gap they have to fill. It removes the person solving their daily problems. It adds recruiting cost, training time, and operational risk, all on their plate. A study published in Harvard Business Review confirmed this directly. High-performing individual contributors are routinely passed over specifically because promoting them is operationally disruptive to their immediate managers. Your excellence is your cage. The better you perform, the harder you are to replace, and the less incentive anyone above you has to actually move you. Meanwhile, Brandon got promoted because moving Brandon cost nothing. Replacing Brandon was easy. Promoting Brandon protected the manager's comfort. You were compared. Brandon won, not on merit, but on convenience. And convenience is a game nobody told you was being played.
Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. Let's talk about what promotions actually select for. Not output, not accuracy, not the overtime you locked. 3 things: visibility, alignment, and perceived safety. Visibility means leadership sees you personally, not your spreadsheets, not your closed tickets. You, your voice in the meeting, your name in upward conversations, your presence when decisions are being made. Alignment means you reflect what leadership cares about. You speak their language. You frame your contributions in their priorities. Perceived safety means promoting you feels risk-free to the people signing off on it. Here's where most high performers unknowingly disqualify themselves. They're seen as unpredictable. Not unstable, unpredictable. They push back on bad ideas. They surface problems others pretend don't exist. They tell the truth in rooms where comfortable silence was expected. Think about the last time you flagged a broken process in a team meeting. You thought you were being helpful. Leadership heard friction. Being right doesn't protect you. Being right at the wrong time in the wrong room quietly marks you as someone who complicates things. Research from Wharton and Stanford on organizational leadership confirms it. Decision-makers promote people who make them feel secure, not people who make them think harder. You weren't imagining it. The system was selecting against you the whole time. The silence that buried you. Here's something that's going to sting. Every time you fixed something without escalating it, you trained leadership to ignore you. Every time you delivered without asking for recognition, you taught the system your work didn't need attention. Every time you stayed quiet in a meeting and did the real work afterward, someone else walked away with the visibility you generated. Think about your average Tuesday. You get in, you handle 3 things before your manager even opens their laptop, you solve a vendor issue over email before it becomes a problem, and by noon, you've quietly kept 2 things from falling apart. Does anyone above your manager know that happened? Probably not. Now think about Kevin from accounting. Kevin flagged a minor billing discrepancy in the all-hands meeting, made a small thing feel significant. The VP nodded and said, "Good catch, Kevin." Kevin didn't do more work than you. Kevin just made his work visible in the right room. Low maintenance reads as low priority every single time. You were professional, disciplined, consistent, and leadership quietly filed you under infrastructure. Infrastructure doesn't get promoted, it gets assumed. And most people don't realize this until 4 or 5 years have already disappeared. The unwritten rule nobody posts in the employee handbook. Here's the real filter behind every promotion decision. Does promoting you make your manager look good without making them feel threatened? That's it. That's the actual question being answered when your name comes up in a closed-door review. If you're visibly sharper than your manager in ways they can't control, that creates discomfort. Discomfort doesn't get rewarded, it gets managed. The people who advance aren't always the most skilled in the room. They're the most legible. They mirror leadership's communication style. They frame their wins in terms of leadership's goals. They make decision-makers feel smart for trusting them. They don't outperform everyone. They out-align everyone. You were tracking output. They were tracking trust. As Robert Greene wrote, the most dangerous person is the one who understands the game while everyone else thinks there isn't one. You now understand the game. Here's how you play it.
What actually moves you forward? First, narrate your results. Don't just deliver them. Stop letting work speak for itself. Work is silent without a voice behind it. Send your manager a short update every Friday. 3 lines. What you completed, what you pushed forward, what's coming. That keeps your name attached to momentum, consistently, visibly, without being annoying. Second, translate everything into leadership's language. Your director doesn't care that you cleaned up the CRM database. They care that the sales team can now close faster. Frame it that way. 1 sentence. Same work, completely different impact on how you're perceived. Third, surface your wins briefly when they happen. You handled something before it escalated? Say so. 1 sentence in a Slack message or quick email. Caught a contract issue before it hit the client. Resolved. That's it. Your name stays attached to solutions instead of disappearing into the background. Fourth, expand your visibility beyond your direct manager. Cross-functional projects are not extra work. They're career infrastructure. When the VP of marketing sees how you think under pressure, your name travels into rooms you've never been invited to. That matters more than any performance review. Fifth, have the direct conversation and stop waiting. Walk into your manager's office and say exactly this. I want to understand what the path to the next level looks like here and what I need to demonstrate to earn it. That one conversation forces accountability. It reveals whether a real path exists. It removes the ability to manage you indefinitely with vague encouragement. If they go quiet, deflect, or give you a non-answer, that is your answer. The thing they really don't want you to know. Some companies will never promote you, not because you're unqualified, not because you haven't earned it, because the structure is locked, because the people above you are protecting their own positions, because the culture was designed to retain high performers, not advance them. If that's where you are, working harder inside that system is not the solution. Building leverage outside it is. Keep your skills current. Stay active in your professional network. Make yourself known in your industry, not just your company. Because the moment you have a credible external option, the entire internal conversation changes. Andre, a project manager in Atlanta, spent 4 years doing everything right. Nothing moved. He spent 5 months building outside visibility, connecting with leaders at other firms. He got an offer, 35